So you're thinking about house hacking and you want to learn about 3 mistakes that I made that cost me tens of thousands of dollars. Well, this is the perfect video for you. My goal is to make sure that you can be on the fast track for house hacking and reduce the failure rate of new house hackers coming in today's market. My name is Sean McIntyre. I'm the house hacking realtor of Northern New Jersey, and I'm here to get this show started for you. So like I said, you can be on that fast track to financial freedom or whatever your real estate goals are. So plain and simple here, I'm gonna be going over 3 different things that I actually lived through. This isn't guesswork. This isn't like a maybe or hypothesis or something like that. This is real life information. I'll be dishing out a lot of stories. And the third one I'm gonna be giving out, I just want to make sure you're not the neighborhood idiot or you're hanging out with the neighborhood idiot. So let's avoid that. So stick around to see exactly what I'm talking about. But let's kick this off plain and simple. Number 1 here, and that's going to come down to doing things the right way. What I mean by that is not cutting corners per se. I kid you not, when I first started, I thought I was saving some money by cutting corners, and actually it cost lots of money. Things like, for example, I tried doing countertops myself by literally molding out, cutting out wood and making a mold so I can pour a concrete countertop in my living room of the house that I was renovating, or the kitchen. And I spent hours, days doing this, and I thought I was saving all this money because I was going to spend like $100 on concrete or whatever, the materials for it. I'm like, wow, this is what a savings. Long story short, I never got it to work, and it's a much bigger project than I thought. If you're off by like a ½ an inch, it looks weird on the countertops. If the countertops crumble, that's not a good thing. What I found out is just spending the right money on the right product, being one and done, is a very smart way of doing things, opposed to trying to cut corners somewhere where it's not going to be the best end product, and it might cost you a lot more money, because it always costs you more to replace it the second time. And that's what I was doing in this situation. So I called the countertop guys. I got some awesome quartz countertops. I kid you not, 10 years later, they are still alive and well on our property. They're still a very nice look that is attractive, that still draws high rents. So we made a smart move by doing the one and done route. Some other things that I really see, I see this all the time, especially when I walk into properties where it'll be renovated, and I have a huge background in flooring. This is what I just never understood, maybe because I had this background in flooring, is the fact that people will cheap out on the floor, and it's like you're walking on it every day. You are literally spilling things, the dog's there, kids are running around on it. Why would you put the most utilized product the cheapest? So when you go out to renovate your house hack and you're thinking, you know what, I'm going to save some money by getting some crappy flooring, that's a huge no-no, because the reason is, at some point you're going to lose a lot of cash because you're going to have to tear it out. And whether you're tearing out with tenants in there, not easy. You might have to compensate them, whatever it is. You just open up a can of worms. And the worst case scenario is you have to do it, and what happens is you do it between tenants, meaning that you have to shut the property down for an extended period of time. I'll tell you this much, something that we're really good at, my wife and I, is our vacancy rate is extremely low. If you want to learn a little bit more about that, why don't you comment below low vacancy rate, and I'll be more than happy to share some of those tips and tricks with you. But I kid you not, we have a vacancy rate of under 1 week. A lot of times it's the same day we're able to do it. So, going into a property, putting in crappy products, and then renovating it in between tenancy, that's a major loss that I don't want to see you make. One other quick tip here with all this is be very careful with the major box stores. They are not necessarily looking out for your best interests. The price might look good, but it's not exactly the best product all the time. And a lot of times these major box stores will actually have name brands that are very trustworthy, very notable in the industry. They'll have these name brand products that are downgraded to their standards so they can sell it at a lower price. You're getting garbage a lot of the times. Once again, going on the flooring industry, I will get literally the same flooring, it has the same name, that some of these major stores will sell, except their product is substantially cheaper, meaning they don't have the same wear layer, they don't have UV protection, and they're selling it as the same name. But when I go direct to the wholesaler, it's a much better product. So you just have to read the back of the labels on these things, because I kid you not, they're downgrading them just so they can get more product out there, and they pretend like, you know, hey, we're doing something special for you guys, but really just selling you a cheaper product. A lot of times you get these products at the same price if you go direct to the manufacturer. All that being said, my next quick tip here, before I get to the third one, which is super crucial. So stick around for this third one, because you're really going to want to know why you shouldn't be hanging out with the neighborhood idiot. But look, on the second one here is, don't get creative. You're probably thinking to yourself, what the hell is this guy talking about? Don't get creative. What I mean by that is like the design stuff of your property. Keep it simple. Keep it so it's consistent, especially when you have multiple properties. If you go into all my properties, they are very similar. On my first property, I wanted to get really creative, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna, you know, decorate this room like this. I'm gonna make this room look this way. I'm gonna put, you know, gold knobs in the kitchen, and then it's gonna have a black knob contrast in the bathroom. I'm making stuff up. I was literally in my head like trying to be some home designer. No. Just go in, see what the comps are in your local market, see what people are renting, say, hey, look, that property's renting for a really high price. Okay, there's another one looks like this, another one. Okay, let's just take that design and put it into our property, maybe go a little slightly below what they're asking, and all of a sudden you kind of rip off and repeat, so your property becomes a very desirable one. That's what we've done over the years. And every time we got really creative, first things first, it'd kind of be this like mind meld where it's like, what are we gonna do next? Oh, should we go look at this store to see if they have the perfect tile? No, I know the tile that we want, so it doesn't matter which store has it. I go and I see which one has the best price and which one, you know, I want to buy it from, and I go and I buy that tile. I'm not going in there to be like, should I do square or hexagons, or, you know, it does. Is it black or is it white tile? You know, I know the tile that's going in our properties, and I just stick to it. I don't go crazy on the creativity side of things, because the reason being too with this, and this is what I really want to get at, is a lot of times you want to decorate these properties to your own appeal, and you got to keep the emotions out of it. You're not decorating these things based on what you want. You're decorating it based on what it's going to rent for, and you want it to rent for top dollar. So rip off and repeat. Don't be so creative when it comes to the designing phase on a house hack. I would say step back, look at the comps, and just rip off, repeat what is working really well. Bubble tea is done. I love bubble tea. Get my little milk tea with black tea, almond milk. It tastes really good. If you like bubble tea, drop a comment below, and do me a favor. Tell me a place I need to go to, because I like trying different ones. I go to this one by me. They do a really awesome job. Anyways, let's get back into this. Okay, number 3 here. This is the big one that I've been waiting here, and it's going to have a couple parts to it. First things first is, I said I don't want you hanging out with the neighborhood idiot, and that comes down to the saying is, you don't take advice from someone you do not want to trade places with. All right, so you're going to see this from the realtor, the lender, and even your local real estate investing meetups. And you're probably saying to yourself, Sean, I thought you always recommend going to your local real estate investing meetup. I do. Don't worry. I'll explain what I'm talking about in a little bit. Stick around. Don't take advice from someone you don't want to trade places with. What I mean from that is, when my wife and I first started this, we were working with that family friend realtor. You probably heard this story before where, heck, we go in, he's going to sell us on this house. We find a single family. Then find out, long story short, he's never bought an investment property himself, let alone even owned a property. But here we are taking advice from him how to be real estate investors. Fortunately, we found more entities out there from investing meetups, forums, that were able to align with people that were doing what we wanted to do. So once we aligned with those individuals, it was a night and day difference. Okay, so we found individuals like, hey, this person's house hacked, this person's lived in a multifamily, renovated them, and done it multiple times. So who do I want to take advice from? That person who is financially free, helping other people in house hacking because he chooses to, not because he has to, or the person who is a full-time realtor who literally must survive by making sales. So that was like a huge turning point for us. Now my wife and I are financially free, helping people find house hacks, no different than our mentor was for us, because we love doing this. But I don't have to close sales in order to survive. My house hacks are funding our lifestyle. The businesses we own are funding our lifestyle. This is what I do because I'm very passionate about, and I want to make sure that we reduce the failure rate of new investors coming into today's market, not making the same mistakes, paying the stupid tax that my wife and I had to pay when we first started. All right. So aligning yourself with people that are doing what you want to do is so crucial in this. And it's not just on the realtor side of things, it's on the lending side of things as well. I've always come across the years, always found across the years that lenders will never say, by the way, I can't lend, but Joe down the street has a much better rate with a better product. Every lender's going to say, yeah, we'll find a way to make that work. Yeah, we'll find a way. Some lenders will go as intense as to literally tell you that you're going to get this deal. And then on the final day say, oh my goodness, we have to switch it over to, an FHA loan because we can't lend to you and blah, blah, blah. I've learned the hard way. Probably one of the hardest ways I learned is the fact that I thought I had to live in our property for longer than we needed to, because I was told we needed to qualify the rental income in order to get a loan for the next property. That was true with the existing lender that got me the first deal, but it wasn't true for other lenders. So you want to be very, very, you want to be around the right people. You don't trust everyone just because they say that they can provide you a loan, because it might only be the loan that's best for them. Okay, so when I met realtors, I was like, crap, I wanted to make sure I always ask questions. And then the same with lenders, like, hey, have you done this before? Have you closed house hacks before? Can you give me references of some house hacking clients you worked with, so you can find out exactly if that will make sense? What you want to do is doable, and you can ask these people. Okay, now because of all this, what do you think I did? I didn't like my realtor. When I first started working, I didn't really like a lot of the lenders. So I got my real estate license. You know that already. I'm the house hacking realtor of Northern New Jersey, and I help people like you get the financial freedom. And this channel does the same thing. So make sure you click subscribe if you want to stay up to date every single week for videos all about house hacking that are dedicated to people like you. Make sure you click subscribe. So not only did I get my real estate license because I wanted to, knock out these people that just want to buy properties for other people and not essentially help them grow their investment portfolio or be an investor. That's why I got my real estate license. Well, the same thing happened with lending. It was just lender after lender. I couldn't stand it. So then I finally found a lending entity that allowed me to be a realtor and a mortgage loan originator. So now I can give house hacking style, investment style loans nationwide in all 50 states. So if you ever need help with lending, why don't you drop a comment below and let me know, or you can text my number directly, which I'll have in the description below, 973-221-9131, and text the word lending, and I will be able to connect you with some of these house hacking style loans. All right. So here we go. Keep moving along here. Final tip here with this is you don't want to be with that neighborhood idiot, and especially when you're at the real estate investing groups. All right. Unfortunately, you get people that are just dipping their feet in the water. They don't necessarily know what's going on, but there'll be a lot of people giving out prescriptions. What I mean by that is they're going to say, yeah, do this. Yeah, do that. You always have to vet the individual. Find out where they are. Like, have you actually house hacked? All right, why are you giving me advice on it? You've never done it before. Even if they're a real estate investor, just because someone's doing fix and flips does not mean they are a house hacking expert. It's a night and day difference, believe it or not. Just because it's taking place in a house does not mean it's the same process. So you want to make sure you're aligning with people that are doing what you want to do. I love hosting real estate investing meetups. If you want to attend one, drop a comment below. I'm making you work today. Just drop that comment below. I say real estate investing meetup, and I'm more than happy to send that link to you. But most importantly, or you can text me real estate investing meetup at my phone number directly. Once again, I might not get back to you right away, but I will get back to you, and that is me. Okay. So what's super crucial about this is, like, I'd have real estate investing meetups and I'd have the nighttime ones But what I found out is I go to a brewery and atmosphere was cool, but there'd be a lot of people showing up there. Let's say tire kickers, ones that aren't actually ever going to pull the trigger, not going to buy properties. And it became like a social event. So what I found out is I now have a lot of real estate investing meetups in the mornings, particularly Saturday morning at a coffee shop. Sometimes we'll start as early as 7 a.m. And I find out that the people that show up to these events are absolutely committed individuals, and I can trust that they are taking action, that they're doing real estate investing full time, and they want to be a part of this. So I like to have that from a strategical side of things. But even so, when they come to our events, I'm like, hey, I need to know proof, because we do a lot of, let's say, sharing of contractors. I always like to say, hey, give me some references, who's doing this, who's doing that. We want to make sure that we are getting the right people in here. Okay. So I always say that if you're new to real estate investing, you're going to a real estate investing meetup, you still got to vet people to make sure that you're getting with the right person that is not going to, put you down that wrong pathway. Cause we don't want to make you waste tens of thousands of dollars like I did, from that wrong realtor that got us into the wrong property. I mean, that's probably $30,000-$40,000 that we wasted because we ended up working with that family friend realtor that got us into a single family house that really made no sense at all. Absolutely grateful for what we learned from it, because maybe I wouldn't be here right now had we gone a different route. So I'm super grateful for it. But now I want to make sure that you don't make those same mistakes, because at the end of the day, if we bought the properties that we are in today 2 years earlier, we didn't waste those 2 years living in a single family. I always say it's not timing the market, it's time in the market. So we'd have an extra 2 years of equity. Oh man, I'm like going crazy just thinking about it. Okay. So I want to make sure you avoid finding those properties that just don't make sense. I'm not kidding you. The majority of properties out there, I'd say like 80% of them, people have no business buying. And unless they're implementing things in a creative way and are house hacking in a very, very creative way, and they're working with experienced house hackers, unfortunately, we're probably going to see a lot of these people in a couple years saying how bad real estate investing is, and how it's just not cool. And then, you're going to go back to the 9 to 5. Or maybe you want to be a little bit more like the crew that I roll with at the real estate investing meetup that I host, that are financially free, sharing secrets, helping one another. So I want to make sure that you avoid those properties that just do not make any sense. All right, I'm about to go watch my son's soccer game because this is what we do on the weekends. Super excited. But before I do that, you might want to check that right there. And tell me if that works for you. Okay, right here.